Rising in the northwestern Pacific lies a city where the future rises beside the past, where every street tells a different story. From above, the city stretches endlessly, an ocean of lights, glass, and motion. Yet at street level, it moves with remarkable precision. Trains arrive to the second, crowds flow like clockwork, and somehow, amid the scale and speed, the city feels calm. This is a city built on rhythm, discipline, and quiet confidence. This is Tokyo. By day, Tokyo reveals its layers. Modern towers reflect the sky, while narrow side streets hide cafes, shrines, and generations of tradition. Business districts hum with purpose, while nearby neighborhoods slow the pace. Locals walking, cyclists passing by, and the soft sound of footsteps on pavement. It's a place where ancient temples stand undisturbed just blocks from cutting-edge architecture, reminding you that history here isn't preserved behind glass, it's lived. Tokyo's beauty isn't loud, it's found in balance, in the contrast between the silence and motion, tradition and innovation. Whether viewed from the sky, the streets, or somewhere in between, Tokyo leaves a lasting impression without ever trying to impress. Far beyond the city, the landscape rises dramatically into the Japanese Alps. Sharp ridgelines cut into the sky, forests stretch across the valleys, and alpine rivers carve their way through the land. These mountains form a powerful backbone to the country, offering a stark contrast to Tokyo's density. In every season, the Alps reveal a different character. Snow-covered peaks in the winter, lush green slopes in the summer, and vibrant color in the fall. They stand as a reminder that Japan's identity is shaped as much by its rugged terrain as by its city, and that vast, untamed beauty exists just hours from the world's largest metropolitan area. And beyond the city, rising quietly, in the distance, stands Mount Fuji. Perfectly symmetrical and timeless, Mount Fuji feels like the soul of Japan made visible. While Tokyo represents progress and momentum, Fuji offers stillness. On clear days, its snow-capped peak watches over the region, unchanged while the world below moves forward. It has inspired artists, travelers, and storytellers for centuries, not because of its size, but because of its presence. Mount Fuji reminds us that even in a country defined by innovation, nature remains central to identity. The mountain doesn't compete with the city, it complements it. Together, they tell the story of Japan, respect for the past, and mastery of the present, and patience for the future. Food is central to Tokyo's identity, and sushi stands at the heart of it. What began as a simple way to preserve fish has evolved into one of the world's most refined culinary traditions. In Tokyo, sushi is about precision, balance, and respect for ingredients. Rice seasoned just right, fish prepared with care, and techniques passed down through generations. From quiet neighborhood counters to world-renowned kitchens, sushi reflects the city itself, disciplined, meticulous, and deeply connected to tradition. Each piece tells a story of craftsmanship, patience, and the surrounding seas that have shaped Japan's culture for centuries. As evening approaches, the city transforms. Neon signs flicker on, streets glow, and Tokyo's energy shifts into something electric. The skyline becomes a constellation, highways weaving through the city like rivers. From above, the sheer scale is breathtaking, one of the largest cities on Earth, yet impossibly organized. Every movement feels intentional, every detail refined. And as the lights of the city fade into the horizon, that balance becomes clear. This is a place where progress never forgets its roots, and where every journey, no matter how modern, remains deeply connected to what came before. This is Tokyo. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode number 12 of Around the Globe 2026. We are sitting here on the ground in Hong Kong this morning, loading up our Flight Factor 777 V2, and we are going to be taking this flight to Tokyo this morning. So very excited for this one. Tokyo is one of my most favorite cities to fly into here in the sim world. I flew into Tokyo the first time last year, so it would have been early 2025, and absolutely loved my time flying around in Japan. So while we make our way into Tokyo, before we head our way home back to America for episode number 13, which will be the finale of this series, you can bet that I'm going to be taking some time to fly into some of my favorite cities over in Japan. So, and with that, we're changing up our livery here for this flight. I thought we'd do something a little bit different here for our last flight here over in Asia, and we'll do Japan Airlines livery, which I actually think is one of the best and cleanest liveries there is over in this region. I absolutely love this livery. There's not much to it, and I think that's kind of what I like about it. There's just very clean lines, and it's just a very, very nice looking airplane, if I say so myself. So today's flight, we're going to be going up to 39,000 feet. We're looking at 62,000 pounds of fuel that we'll be taking with us. Currently, that fuel is being loaded, and we're going to be getting passengers, cargo, and catering on board here in just a moment. If this is your first episode that you're joining us here for this series, welcome. This is episode number 12. We have one episode to go. All previous episodes can be found in the Around the Globe 2026 playlist, so feel free to check that out. It can be found right on the Minnesota Sports Fan Page channel, and you can see our entire journey. So yeah, we're very excited. This is our last very short flight, just over 3 hours. So our last flight will be getting us back over to America, which will just be over 8 hours of flight here in the 777. So we've had some short flights like this one. We've had some very long ones. If you all remember the flight from Los Angeles to Sydney, we made it, but it was almost 15 hours in the air that we were actually in the air. I think it was actually just over 15 hours. So if we can do that, we can pretty much do anything, right? So you can see the ground crew on the ground here. Fuel is going to be finished up here in just a little bit. So with that, we can let them do their thing, but we got to go do our job here and get this plane ready to rock and roll and get pushed back out of Hong Kong. And so with that, let's jump up into the cockpit. All right, here we are in the cockpit of this beautiful Flight Factor 777. We're going to go down here to the FMC. We're going to get that all cleared out there. We'll go pause in it. And we're going to do a couple things here. So first things first, VHHH for our reference airport. We'll throw that in there. Very good. We'll go ahead and take that and throw that in so we can get our adheres fully aligned. Over to the route page, we are sitting here in Hong Kong, VHHH, very good. And then we are heading over to Tokyo Haneda, and that is going to be RJTT. Throw that into destination, very good. And we're not American Airlines this flight. We're actually going to be Japan Airlines 4523 on this flight here today. Very good. We'll throw that in there. And then before the stream started, I went ahead and got a hold of clearance for us, and we were given runway 07 right for departure. All right, so over to the departure page here. We've got to enter in our flight plan, so we'll go over departure. 07 right is our assigned runway, and we've been given the Dallo 1A departure, so we'll throw that in there, activate and execute. Very good. Let's see here. Over to the route page, we're going to go ahead and start entering in some of our waypoints. So first things first, we're going to be jumping onto an airway after our initial waypoint of Dallo. So it's going to be V631. And then from there, we're going to be jumping over to NVAR, direct 2. Throw that in there. And then we're going to be jumping on the airway M750. Throw that in there. And then we're going to be exiting that direct to INVM. Throw that in, very good. And then we're going to be going direct to, just taking a look over here to my left, so the monitor Billy, so BILY. Very good. Throw that in there. We're going to select that upper waypoint. Always select that top waypoint.
2.6. Thank you very much.
Alright, and then waypoint Y21. Oh, you know what? Maybe that's going to go over here. Let's try that. Nope. Okay, it doesn't like it. No problem. All right, sometimes that happens. We'll just go ahead and execute that. Let's go over to our arrivals page, and we'll get our arrival all set here. So we're going to be on the ILS approach here today. It's going to be the XC1A. Actually, you know what? These all look very similar, but make sure I got that right. Looking. All right, so we're going to select ILS 34 right Zulu. And then for our star coming in, it's going to be XL. There we go. All those looked very familiar, so very similar, I should say. So make sure you got those correct and get that right. So yep, it looks right. Just double checking, and we got it in there correct. Just making sure there's no transition here from any of our options over here. I don't think so. Everything looks good. So with that, we'll go ahead and execute that, and we'll just get that entered in. We'll kind of cycle through things here in a little bit. We'll go to plan, and we'll just kind of do a quick little cycle through, make sure everything looks good. Once we get our weights and balances and everything in, we can go ahead and just verify everything for our speeds and altitudes. But just for initial look here, looks like we got a little bit of a discontinuity there. We'll go ahead and clean that up. Very good. And then let's see, let's zoom out here just a little bit so we can see our full arrival. Looks like, let's see, what is it doing here? This is a little interesting here. It goes Invum, then back to Billy, then back to Axel. What in the world? This is why you want to go through your flight plan here. You want to make sure that you don't just take off and not review this, because you can see our approach is a little wonky. But it's nothing that we can't go ahead and get edited. So, all right, so we've got some work to do here on the flight plan to make sure everything looks good. We're going to go ahead and add in some waypoints here, and probably take some away too. We're going to add in Mampa, and then we're going to add in Midday. Throw that in there. Next page. And then we're going to see what happens here. We're going to add in Mad Dog. Throw that in. Yep. And then we're going to do Magoot. And then Iguru. Throw that in. Oh, may have spelled that one wrong there. There we go.
Philippine 319 Heavy, requesting IFR clearance to Manila. We have information unit.
And then Mexer. So I think what's going on is these waypoints were not entered in because it did not take that Y21 airway. So I think that was where we kind of got that weird routing there. So I'm just going to enter these in where these have all would have been entered in manually, or I should say automatically from that waypoint. We're going to have to enter these in manually. And I think that's where our little our weird routing came from. So we'll throw Billy in there, and then yeah, we still have like 2,000 nautical miles there between Ottawa and Billy. So one of these waypoints is definitely gonna have to come out. Let's just see here. Just kind of looking at. Let's zoom this out a little bit. Let's figure out what is our problem waypoint here. So we're going through. We're going Mad Dog. Everything looks good, but then once we hit this region is where our problems ensue here. We're going through. Looks good, and then we hit this guy right here, the Ottawa, and it's gonna be most likely this guy here. So let's do this. Let's take Billy out and see what happens to our route. Okay, so right there, that almost immediately kind of fixed it. So it did not like the Billy waypoint, which is odd because that is exactly what SimBrief gave us. But that's okay, we can make that work. I'm probably going to clean this up here a little bit. Instead of getting that quick and rapid turn in there, we're going to probably just go more direct. So what we'll do, let's see here. Yeah, because there's our arrival runway, so we want to kind of come in a little more straight, but everything else is looking pretty good though as we kind of cycle through here. Yes, looking good. And then as we come in, we turn north, and then here's where that little weird routing is right there. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and
Good morning, Hong Kong.
we'll go Kaiho, we'll select that, and then we'll just kind of get rid of some of those. So now as we step through, it's going to be, there we go. Alright, so now it'll be more of a direct turn into our runway of 34 right. Very good. Alright, perfect. So there you see there in real time us problem solving our route and making sure that everything is looking good. And that's exactly why you want to do this ahead of time, because that way you're not figuring that out in the air. You're doing it on the ground here where you have the time.
San Francisco International.
Alright, our load sheet is ready for us. So that means all passengers, cargo, catering, fuel's on board. So with that, we can get our final weights and balances here. So on our Perfinit page here, we're going to go and type in 396.9 for a 0 fuel weight. We'll go 2,000 on the reserves. And then our cruise altitude is going to be 39,000 feet. Throw that in there. And then our cost index today is going to be, I believe, it was, let's see here, it was going to be cruise index of 15. Okay, so that means we're going to be getting some crazy tailwind, which is fantastic. All right, so now for our cell temp here, I'm going to pull up our information here on SimBrief. For our cell temp today, it's going to be plus, one more here, plus, there we go, plus 51. Throw that in there. Alright, we'll go over to the takeoff page. It's going to be flaps 5 for departure here today. And then with that, we can go ahead and accept our takeoff speeds. And then we need our CG percentage here. CG percentage today is 33.2. Throw that in, and that's going to give us a trim of 3.5. So we'll make sure we get that set here before we taxi out to the runway. Okay, so with that, we cycle through. We see all of our speeds and our altitudes, and everything is looking good from our flight plan. And we got our flight plan figured out a little bit earlier, so we are good to go there. Alright, perfect. Alright, so with that, ladies and gentlemen, we can go ahead and get pushed on out here. We'll go ahead and call for pushback, and we will be on our way over to Tokyo.
Welcome on board. 安全について説明しますので、必ずご覧ください。Please watch this safety video and familiarize yourself with the safety instructions.
荷物は近くの収納場所に入れます。
All baggage must be stowed in the nearest storage.
異常口や通路に
Alright,
置
back
く
up
こ
here
と
to the
はありません。
cockpit. We will go
Do
ahead
not
and
place
get engine
baggage
number
in
2
the
over to
aisle
start.
or around the exits.
シートベルトはしっかりと締めます。
Fasten your seatbelt securely.
レバーを上げると外れます。
Lift the buckle to unfasten the seatbelt.
揺れに備え、常に着用します。
And once we reach 25% on the spool up, we'll go ahead and introduce the fuel. Very good.
機内は通路、化粧室を含め禁煙です。
Smoking is strictly prohibited on this flight.
電波を発する状態の電子機器は使用できません。
Use of any electronic devices that emit
If you're wondering where I'm
radio
getting
waves
this
is prohibited.
cabin announcement, this is a program called Cabin Sim. It's been out for a few years
Please
now. It just
turn them
recently
off or
received an
set them
update,
to airplane
but it's
mode.
been a really good add-on. It just actually runs external from my simulator, just
In
is
case of
basically an
emergency,
application
please
on my
follow our
desktop. So
instructions.
whether you're flying X-Plane or Microsoft, P3D doesn't really matter. You can just run this program, and it's got about a couple
If
of different,
oxygen masks
probably
appear,
hundreds of
hold the mask toward you
different
and
airline
place it
announcements you can
firmly
choose
around
from
your nose and
for your
mouth.
cabin announcements. So it's really cool to have that as an option. And like I said, just
Place the
recently
band
received an
over your
update,
head
so
and
I'm sure even
adjust.
more are added. But there's also some features that came along with it now. So
In the unlikely event
very,
of
very nice
impact,
add-on to have,
take
and
a
it doesn't
protective
run
brace
within the sim,
position.
so it's not like a plug-in or anything. So just it really doesn't do anything with
Your
your
life
performance.
vest is located under or
All right, at
beside
engine
your
number
seat.
1 over to start. So with that, we'll go ahead and introduce the fuel and lower 25%.
Put the life vest over your head, fasten the buckle, and tighten the strap.
非常口で引き手を引いて膨らませます。
Pull the tab to inflate the life vest when exiting the aircraft.
Really nice morning here in Hong Kong. Cloud in the sky.
If necessary,
Sunrise
blow
coming
into
up
the
here.
tube to inflate the life vest.
前と後ろの非常口を確かめてください。
Check the location of the emergency exits in front of and behind you.
Hear those
脱
engines
出時に荷
spooling
物は
up.
持たないでください。
Leave your baggage when you evacuate.
荷物を持つと通路を塞ぎます。
Carrying baggage will block the aisle.
荷物やハイヒールでスライド
All
が
right, we'll
破
go ahead
れ
and set that
使
parking
えな
brake.
くなる恐れがあ
Pushback
り
is
ます。
complete.
Baggage and high-heeled shoes may damage the slide.
Let him go ahead and disconnect, and then while he's
脱出
doing
時の
that,
正
we
しい姿
can
勢です。
go ahead and get a
両手
few
を伸ば
things
して
of ours set
前
up
傾を
here.
意識し、必ず着地点を見て滑ります。
When sliding down, stretch forward your arms, incline your body
All right, we'll
forward,
get our LNAV,
and look
VNAV
at the
on. We can
landing
arm our
pad.
auto throttle.
スライド下での援助をお願いします。
We will
And then we can also
ask
get our
you to assist
sets
other
flap,
passengers
flaps
before
set to 5
sliding down.
degrees.
すぐに飛行機から離れます。
Here so you
Move
can
quickly away
see
from
and
the
hear those flap
aircraft.
sounds.
安全のしおりをご覧ください。
Please review the safety instructions leaflet.
どうぞ
Test
ごゆ
our
っくりお
speed
過ごし
brake
ください
there.
We wish you a pleasant flight.
All right, very nice. Everything's looking good. And once he is all done in front of us, he will let us know, and we'll be ready to taxi. You can see how the cabin inside here is modeled. This is really cool. So with a lot of these liveries, the artist will also do the inside of the cabin. So you can see the screen here, Japan Airlines, and yeah, very, very cool. Very nicely modeled. All right, back up here. We gotta do the last couple things. Let's get some lights on here as we make our way. We're gonna start our chrono. Get that going.
While I grab the paperwork.
Virgin 216, push and start.
Hong Kong ground, Japan Air 4523, ready to taxi to runway 07 right for departure.
Japan Air 4523, taxi to runway 07 right via Hotel 7, Hotel 6, Juliet 1.
Taxi via Hotel 7, Hotel 6, Juliet 1 for Japan Air 4523. Alright, up top here, APU can go off, and APU start switch can go off. Very good. That'll start cooling down, and we'll make sure that everything else is looking good. We got chrono going here, and we are ready to taxi everyone to 07 right for departure. And with that, oh, we gotta do our trim here. So let's get our trim set to 3.5. Alright, very good. Trim is now set. All right, we're ready to taxi. So I mentioned at the start of this video that my intention is to fly around in Japan once we get into Tokyo before we record our final episode of this series. Last year was the first year that I'd ever flown to Japan in my sim. And the one thing that really was just so amazing to me flying in Japan was how these airports are situated. A lot of these airports over in Japan, they basically have built the airports out from the mainland over the water. So they basically build like airport islands. These guys are gonna cut right in front of me. Okay, that guy's gonna wait. All right, very good, thank you. But basically what they do is they build these airports out from the island or from the mainland, and they basically create like a airport island. And so it's really cool. As you are approaching, you're just seeing like this little island that looks like you're landing on, and it's the airport itself. So very different from anything that you'll see anywhere else in the world, but it just kind of shows you, Japan was very innovative. They don't have a lot of land, and they're very populated. So what they did was, instead of taking up a large landmass of their island, they basically took the whole idea of an airport and moved it out from the mainland, put it out over the water, and then stretch a bridge from the mainland over to the airport itself. So very cool. So if you are a flight simmer and you have not done a whole lot of flying in Japan, I really encourage it. There's an airport, I think it's Kansai, that I'm planning on flying into, and that's definitely one that is one of those island airports. There's also another one. Right now the name is kind of escaping me. I can pull up my map here. But I remember flying in there, Nagasaki. So Nagasaki is the same way. They have this island airport. So throughout Japan, you'll kind of see that, and it's just really, really cool. Another really fun airport to fly into over here in Japan is Hiroshima. So of course we all know, Hiroshima and the history with that, but a very cool elevated where you kind of fly over this valley and it sits on top of the valley. So it's really kind of a cool visual approach going into that airport. If you're coming in from the west, you'll have a really cool visual approach. You'll have 2,000 feet below you, and then it drops to like probably 4,000 feet, I want to say, before you finally come up on the runway, and the runway's right there at ground level. So very, very cool flying over here in Japan. Lots of different airports to choose from. Of course, you've got Tokyo, where we're heading now, which is fantastic. You also have Tokyo Narita, which is the other airport in Tokyo. So definitely a lot of options and everything, and just really enjoy my time flying over here in Asia. It's really a fantastic place to flight sim. And the one crazy thing too about this region are the winds. So if you're flying from east to west, you are going to be met with probably 150 mile per hour headwind on average, if not maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. But if you are going from west to east, you're going to be booking it. You're going to be probably going over 600 miles per hour while you're in cruise. And that's why our cost index is only at 15 on this flight, because we're going to be doing just that. With the winds being as crazy as they are during the winter time, at the time I'm filming this is in January of 2026. The winds are crazy, and it's really to the extreme over here in Japan. So you can make some great distance here pretty quick in this region. However, if you're going the opposite direction, expect the exact opposite. So it's still very different than any other parts of the world that I have flown into. But if you're a flight simmer watching this and you enjoy flying in this region, why don't you throw in the comments some of your experiences and maybe some of the airports that you enjoy flying into as well. It's really been a flight simmer's favorite, and I'm glad I went here and checked it out. So really can't recommend this region any more than any other region. It's just very different for many different reasons, and a lot of these airports are sitting right on the water. So X-Plane does a great job of drawing in these cargo ships and everything, and it's just really a very scenic area. All right, looks like we're getting called here from the purser, so we'll go see what she needs from us.
Do you want something?
Sir, the cabin is secure.
We're very direct. All right, so cabin is ready to go. All right, so we're going to contact tower. Hong Kong Tower, Japan Air, 4523, holding short runway 07 right, ready for departure. Just look at that sun coming up over those hills. Absolutely awesome.
Cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff for Japan Air 4523. Alright, landing lights can come on. We are good to go. Taxi light can come off. Strobes need to come on. And we will go ahead and advise the cabin that we are going to be taxiing out onto the runway for takeoff. We are all good to go here, friends. We're going to be on our way to Tokyo. The second to last leg here of Around the Globe 2026 is officially underway.
Eva 3223, contact departure.
Let's make this slow turn out. That sunrise coming from our right.
On runway
No clouds. We
7,
should have a beautiful
right.
departure here out of Hong Kong this morning. All right, we're all lined up, ready to go. I don't know how those were off. Have we not been talking to ATC? I don't know what happened there. Those somehow turned off or something. Okay. All right, never mind. We're good. Radios are back on. All right, throttle's to 40%. Slight forward down pressure on the yoke. Let's get it.
Hong Kong Shuttle 110, contact departure.
Contact departure, Hong Kong Shuttle 110.
Cathay 506, contact departure.
Foxtrot 119 at the 1, Cathay 506.
All right, V1 and rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Look at that sunrise.
Air 4523, contact departure.
Contact departure for Japan Air 4523. Hong Kong departure, Japan Air, climbing flight level 24,000 for Japan Air 4523.
Japan Air 4523, heavy Hong Kong departure, radar contact, climb flight level 100.
Climb flight level 100 for Japan Air 4523 Heavy. Alright, flaps clean. And we will go ahead and just enjoy this departure here out of Hong Kong this morning. The sunrise is absolutely spectacular. We'll pull back our speed here just a little bit as we go into climb.
Japan Air 4523, climb flight level 220.
And autopilot and auto throttle can both come on.
Flight level 220, Japan Air 4523.
Aero Milano 918, climb flight level 220.
Man, look at that down there. Reflection off the water, sun rising.
Japan Air 4523, contact Hong Kong radar on 118.925.
Switching to Hong Kong radar on 118.925. Japan Air 4523. Hong Kong radar, Japan Air 4523. Good morning. Flight level 070 for flight level 220.
Japan Air 4523, Hong Kong radar, climb flight level 220.
Climbing flight level 220. Japan Air 4523.
Fire, switch on 700. 179er, speed 250 knots.
Give us a wing view coming out. I believe that's Hong Kong right down there beneath us.
Climbing flight level 280. Japan Air 4523.
Very nice. All right. We're past over 10,000 feet. Landing lights can come off. Runway turn off lights can come off. Frequent turn logo light off. Wing light can come off. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, we are on our way out of Hong Kong, on our way to Tokyo. Just over 3 hours of flight time, 3 hours and 35 minutes from gate to gate. But with these winds that we are expecting, we should make pretty good time here, making our way into Tokyo this morning. All right, I'm going to leave you here. We're going to head into the intermission for cruise, and I will see you all on the descent into Tokyo. Alright, well, welcome back everybody. We are on our descent into Tokyo. It may not look like Tokyo, Japan down beneath us. No, we did not divert to Antarctica. That is indeed Japan beneath us. Crazy thing. So, as we were making our way over, I was taking a look at the weather in Japan, and apparently there was a snowstorm that came through and totally covered all of the mountains and everything over in Japan overnight. And so as we are making our way here mid-morning into Japan, the program that I'm running, XA Snow, is showing that we have snow coverage over in Japan. So it may not be exactly accurate, but it is going to be pretty accurate in terms of the mountains at least. I did pull up a live webcam of Japan itself just to kind of see how accurate this was. At street level in Tokyo, I did not see any snow on the ground, just wet roads, but people were all bundled up in like winter jackets and things like that. So I do believe that they probably did get some snow overnight, and that is why we are seeing that being reflected here into the sim. So definitely kind of cool that, you know, XA Snow would pick up on that, but as you can see, it may be a little over extreme here. But no matter what, we're going to have a great landing here into Tokyo. And I also did a little bit of research here during our 3-hour flight here that apparently Tokyo only gets about 10 days out of the entire year where they will have snow within the city. So we are very fortunate and lucky to be a part of those 10 days on our trip here. So lucky us, right? So we are making our descent here. We are just under 10,000 feet. We're going to be keeping an eye here on our speed. We're at 230 knots. We're looking good. And we had a very nice flight coming in from Hong Kong. No turbulence. It was clear sky. We had that sunrise to look at. That was pretty phenomenal. And so we've had also a major tailwind. We had a tailwind at one point of 150 miles per hour. So we got up to 620 knots. So really great time that we're making here on our flight due to that tailwind. So we're getting set up for runway 34 right. We're on the ILS approach. We're on the XLN arrival, and we'll be making our way in here in just a few minutes. Alright, we're going to be making our turn here on to final here in just a moment. We're just over 4,500 feet right now. We can see the airport off here to our left, and we are very snow covered down beneath us here. Alright, we're going to set flaps to 5. We'll start slowing her down here.
Give me 1 second for that clearance.
I would assume that if I were to land, restart the sim, load back in, that the snow would be gone. I'm thinking it's just because it was snowing at the time that we departed Hong Kong, that it was going to keep that same snow here in Tokyo. So it should be a little bit more accurate than that. I've been led to believe that it does update as the weather information comes in from the National Weather Service, but it looks like it's just a little delayed right now. So maybe a little unrealistic here landing into Tokyo with all this snow cover, but let's not worry about that. We'll just have ourselves a nice landing, and by the time we get started with our day here in Tokyo, I'm sure the snow will be all gone and melted. So all right, yep, there we go. Good look here at the snow cover down beneath. Looks pretty good, actually. I mean, if a snowstorm just did come through, I would imagine it would be looking just like this. So, all right, so straight out ahead of us, you guys, we have our runway 34 right. We're on that ILS approach, and we're coming in, and we are going to be arming the localizer here in just a moment. We'll get our speed brake armed. All right, looking good.
Walker 419er. Contact Tokyo Tower on 118.1.
Alright, we'll start dialing back our speed here. We'll go 160 on the speed. And in just a moment, we're going to go ahead and arm this localizer. There we go. Localizer armed. See the plane move to get us in line here with the runway. Flaps are currently set to 15, as we want to continue to slow down this plane. Auto brakes are set to 2. Alright, seatbelt signs can come on. We'll let the cabin know we are on our final. Flight attendants can be seated. Alright, we'll go ahead and arm the approach. Alright, we'll get our final approach speed here to 144. We'll go flaps 20. You can see our runway out in front of us.
Enable Delta 7, we continue via Loptic 1 Charlie, arrival. Turning right, heading 045, Japan Air 4523.
Alright, gear down. As we are now 7 miles out.
Enable heli, and then we continue via the normal procedure Delta 7.
Alright, and my airplane. Auto throttle can come off. In the 777, you don't have to disengage the auto throttle. The auto throttle will actually cut itself about 20 feet above the ground. I like to manipulate my my throttle, so you can do it either way, but I like to kind of just feel it out here, and I land all my other planes that way, so I'm just trying to keep it the same throughout. We'll go flaps 30 and let those come fully out. Winds are at 17 miles per hour, but they're coming straight at us, so winds aren't too much of a factor here, at least at the moment. We'll see what happens as we get closer to the ground. Okay, we're getting a little high here, so we're going to dip that nose down. We're going to cross over runway 5 on the approach here.
5,300, climb to 7,000.
It would be a little gusty coming in here after the storm.
Right heading 060. Japan Air 4523.
300.
Continue.
200.
Approaching 3-4 right.
100.
A little gusty.
50. 40. 30.
Right, roll back to power, start the
20.
flare. Oh, little gust of wind.
10.
We got her down. Those winds were shifting. But we got her down. Alright, we'll roll it out.
Contact Tokyo Tower on 118.1.
Oh man, those winds were gusting. I kind of had a feeling it was going to be like that after that storm had just rolled through, but winds were pretty steady up until about, I don't know, 300-400 feet. Alright, so we'll just vacate off here to the left. Landing rate of minus 318, not bad, all things considered. We'll go ahead and clean up our spoilers, get our flaps in, and we'll go ahead and taxi to the gate. Landing lights can come off. Let's get the APU going. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome down to Tokyo. Snowy Tokyo. Who would have thought? Alright, so I believe we need a taxi over to our left. I think we need to go over here. So we're going to take a turn. Three hours and 14 minutes on the total flight time. We were projected 3 hours and 7 minutes, 3 hours and 35 minutes from gate to gate, so we're looking pretty good here, right on time. Flight directors can come off. Okay, and we'll go ahead and taxi ourselves over to the gate. Alright, so we'll pull ourselves into the gate here. Seems like I'm a little over. It says I want to be more over to the right, but I feel like I'm too far over to the right. Okay, there. Okay, so there it's responding. Okay, now it says we're good. Okay. We'll just go straight in from here. To the left. And it'll count us down. It does surprise me how accurate this thing is. I'm going to go a little more to the left, it looks like. Okay. I think we're good right there. Alright, parking brake can come on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome down to Tokyo. Engine number 2 can come off. Engine number 1 can come off. We are all good to go here at the gate. We'll go up top. We'll go ahead and get our jetways attached. Very good. We'll go wing light off. Beacon, beacon off. Taxi light can come off. Strobe can come off. Runway turn off already off. Very good. And looking good. All right, we are down here in Tokyo. The jetways are, I think, moving their way towards the plane. Yep, looks good. All right, let's go down here. Let's get in touch with the purser.
All doors to manual.
All right, perfect. And now we can get a hold of the grounds crew. somehow, some way.
Only for 33,
There,
climbing out
right there.
at 2,000 feet. Headed for 4,000, flight level 420.
Hello, this is the captain.
Let's see how we did on
Ground
our.
here.
No, look pretty good. All right, so we want
We require
chocks.
some equipment.
Which
and...
one?
Chocks.
Roger.
All right,
Can I
perfect.
help you with anything else?
Let's go over here to the EFB. We can go to airplane. We can go ground services. We'll go gate. And then we'll go over here to loading services. We'll go unload passengers, unload catering, unload cargo. And with that, we should be able to start the unloading process.
We are ready for the luggage to be offloaded.
Will do.
Perfect. Window heats can come off.
20.6.
Everything is looking good.
Tokyo approaching 120.
All right, friends, and with that, that is going to conclude episode number 12 of Around the Globe 2026. We are down here in Tokyo. In the finale episode, we are going to be back in the American Airlines 4523 Heavy, making our way across the Pacific Ocean back to where it all began 3 months ago when we took the American Airlines 4523 out of Seattle to Los Angeles. So with that, I'm going to leave you here with the replay of the landing, and I will see you back here in 2 weeks for the finale as we will conclude Around the Globe 2026. Until then, take care. See you next time.
you.